Time for a fireside chat with Wild and Free Interior Alaska.
Tonight's fireside chat, we're going to talk a little bit about what it's really like now having this cabin almost finished. And we say almost finished because we now have the roof on and we got the wood stove installed, which was an absolute must-have and just a game changer overall. But once we got that installed, that was kind of a point where we could now be a little bit more livable. We insulated all around the windows and every gap we had. We spray foamed and stuffed them and just really cut down on our drafts, and now it warms up nicely. We started, it was around 15 degrees in here, and now we've brought it up to about 80.
Oh yeah, at the peak when you have the wood stove cranked up to cook on, it's 80 in here.
But we can maintain a reasonable temperature where we're
65.
comfortable, and it's really nice in here. So now that we have that done, it's officially almost finished. We do still have windows to install, 4 more, and we have so many other little projects, but those things can wait and we'll just work on them a little bit as time goes on.
Yes.
It's definitely a really amazing feeling having the cabin kind of finished, and this is ours. Like, we did this.
Mm-hmm.
We made this. We
bought it all. It was all very expensive.
Yeah,
We hauled it all out here. That wasn't easy. And
Yeah.
then we put it all together, and that was even harder.
Yeah, so it was just about a year ago that we officially won this land at auction in October of 2022.
Yeah.
It was the end of October.
Yes. Won the auction. We didn't actually take possession
Until January. Yeah, it was the end of January of 2023 that we took possession, and at that moment we had already ordered our logs, started planning. When our logs came in, we had a ton of debarking to do, and that was definitely probably the most challenging. It wasn't the hardest, but
it was a lot of manual labor. It wasn't the hardest, but it was a lot of labor.
Yeah. And then once we got them all debarked, we were able to start hauling them out here. And hauling them out here was probably the hardest part.
Yeah, it might be.
I think so.
6 miles by trail, late winter, hauling heavy loads, getting snow machines stuck.
Definitely was very challenging and took a lot of work to get them all out here. But we had the most incredible group of people that helped us make that happen, and it was just trip after trip after trip. We did about 70 or so. So that was the end of April. And then we came out a few times so that journey that only took our logs to the top of the trail, main trail here, which is maybe a quarter mile down to our cabin. And we came out a few more times after that to try to haul the last straggling logs that we didn't get on that run and then bring them down here, but not having been able to make a path because it was more than 5 feet of snow. It was a lot of work. We snowshoed our entire path to pack it all down, and we started bringing them down as long as we could for as many weekends in a row, which was unfortunately only maybe 2, 3. And then we ran into the slushy phase. So hauling those logs down from the top of the trailhead down to here was definitely an adventure on its own. We weren't that successful with snow machine because the snow was so deep and we had to pack it down. And then we ran into the slushy season. That was a nightmare. Our last journey out here in probably, it was the 3rd week of May, I'd say, maybe. We pushed second week.
It was earlier than that.
It was still May, so yeah. It was
was
May when we
April.
came out here. No, because the logs we hauled them the end of April. So it was probably about mid-May, I'd say. And that was the end of it. And then we come into this phase of waiting for the snow to melt, which takes a while because there's more than 5 feet of snow. And then once that melted, we came out here and broke ground on June 9th. And we dug our first holes to start our foundation. And we hit the ground running. And every weekend we were out here almost building this cabin with our own 2 hands. And the amazing help from my father-in-law, his dad. He was kind of the brains behind the operation. We would kind of tell him the next phase of the process, and he would start doing some research, and we'd come together and come up with a brief plan. Sometimes we really didn't have one, or you'd have a plan, then you get into it, and it's just way harder than you thought, and everything always took way longer.
Yeah.
Way longer. And then, it's just unbelievable to be sitting in here and looking around and thinking that we made this, not ever having had any experience building like anything at all.
Chicken coop.
And it was kind of really crappy. Yeah, nothing to write home about. And while this is still
It's not perfect.
not perfect, obviously we'll start coming together and looking better and better, but it's pretty damn amazing. We really built this on sheer will, determination, and alcohol.
Water.
Yeah. And now we have this beautiful cabin that we can come out here and share this experience with our kids and just make amazing memories.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
All right.
Thanks for joining Wild and Free Interior Alaska on another Fireside Chat.